Hey, how's it? Welcome to Chatter with Statter. It looks like we've got some folks hanging out already. Elaine in the house, Shakalak ready to wield the sword if need be. We are coming at you live streaming Sunday afternoon as usual, 5 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, and 8 p.m. on that East Coast. We're going to chitter chatter for a little bit. Before we run that intro, I have a feeling I might be getting rated in just a few minutes, so I figured we should maybe wait around before everybody gets to see, so everybody can come in and see the beautiful Black Cat intro that Andy Bumatai has created for my show many months ago. Still use it because, frankly, I'm not so sure that we're ever going to come up with a better intro than that Black Cat intro. Hey, Rick, good to see you. Awesome. All right. So before we get talking about the random things that we're going to be chatting about today, I thought I would recap something a little bit from last week, which is, hey, Cindy Krause, good to see you coming on in. All right. So last week, as I'm sure you all remember, we had a Betty White challenge for Monday, January 17th. Obviously, it wasn't just us. It was the whole United States, and even the world got in on it. And from what I understand, over $12.7 million was donated under the Betty White Challenge hashtags through donation portals that Facebook and Instagram had. So, or I think it's Instagram, whoever Facebook also owns, basically the Meta corporation that owns Facebook, or that Facebook turned into, or whatever. The 12.7 million, that is only money that was donated through the Facebook owned platforms. I personally donated money directly to the shelter, not via a Facebook platform. Now, it doesn't matter. Facebook, by the way, takes no cuts of those donations. I'm not suggesting, I'm not looking my nose down when I say just, I did not donate through the Meta. I just didn't. So what I'm saying is the Meta number, as astronomical as it is, actually isn't even, it's only perhaps the tip of the iceberg, because I have no doubt that plenty people bypassed Facebook altogether and just donated directly to the shelters of their own choice. I know that that's what I did. I know that's what my boss did. I know that several bars in my town, at least, came in with the Betty White challenge by just, they had a jar in their bar where people threw in $5, $10, $1, 50 cents, whatever, and that got donated to the local, and that certainly didn't get counted via the Meta platform either. So, whoa, dude, awesome. We have got a ton of folks coming in from Andy Bumatai. Looks like 30 plus people. Andy Bumatai's Daily Pigeon Live coming in. Excelente. All right, guys. So as I was just saying, thanking Andy Bumatai for the wonderful intro that we have. Everybody wants to save the black cats, and thanks to Betty White Challenge this last week, over $12.7 million was donated in Betty White's name. And so that saves all the black kitties and all the other kitties, and probably some horsies and doggies too. So glad you guys can join me here. So glad we can hang out this afternoon. Let's get this party started. Okay, it looks like Darlene, Nadia Aloha, Ann Ware, Gil Soto X, Foxbit 55, Nanette H, Pualani Local, Kenny from the Cove, Medium 7 Up, Rick, he was here being moderation before, I believe, but maybe I could be lying. OG Sumo Vibe, I think I already said OG. C, Honda, yes, we've got all these folks. Terry in Scotland, Michael Anthony Smith coming in. So, good to see everyone. And now, Michael Anthony Smith in and out, just showing face. That's okay. I know you've got an early morning for your radio classic country WIOO in Pennsylvania, but you can also check it out online. Super classic country. Michael Anthony Smith is DJ there, and you should definitely all check him out if you are into that classic country vibe. So there you have it, rabbits. Yes, welcome, Raiders, to Chatter with Statter. As I said earlier, Chatter with Statter every Sunday and Wednesday, 5 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, and 8 p.m. on the East Coast. And then Saturdays, we've got StatterBox at the cinema, 6 p.m. West Coast time, 4 p.m. Hawaii time, and let's see here, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. This week, I had a little bit of a technical kerfuffle, and we ran a little bit late, but we did get to enjoy the movie. Let's see, where did it go? Got to enjoy the movie The Descendants, which is a phenomenal gift that Andre has gifted to StatterBox at the cinema. And it was a bit of a tearjerker, but good movie. If you have not seen it yet, I suggest you should check it out. And if you're into Hawaiian music, the soundtrack for that particular movie is phenomenal, and I'll be downloading it probably after today's stream, just because good stuff on there, guys. Good stuff. So it looks like Kenny from the Cove just gifted a tier 1 subscription to Hannah Butta and another one to E.T. Aloha. That makes me so happy. Thank you so much, Kenny, for your generosity, spreading the chatter with Statter love all across the Chatterbox. All right, so we're going to talk about some random stuff here today, because random is definitely what we talk about here. But before we talk about random stuff, oh wait, it looks like Ann Ware is gifting a tier 1 sub to Michael Anthony Smith. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ann. That is so lovely. Got to keep Michael in the loop. And PhotoLuke subscribed for 4 months. Thank you so much, PhotoLuke, for keeping up this subscription. I don't think I saw your name coming in with the Raiders. I assume that's where you came from. And, super stoked to see you here. Keolani62, The Descendants showed a lot of your old stomping grounds. It was just beautiful. Mark MCQ, good to see you. And Kenny from the Cove, thank you so much for those 300 biddies. It's super awesome. We've got a hype train going on, level 2 already. Wow, craziness. Yeah, and Keolani, like you were saying, that movie, the cinematography showed a lot of your old stomping grounds, just beautiful. That was one of the factors that I kind of went off on after the movie last night. The script was a great script. The soundtrack was a great script. No, the soundtrack was a great choice of music. And then the cinematography was so beautiful. Everything, honestly, I don't know how they could have made a better movie. I'm sure they could have, but that movie was very well done. And it looks like Cindy Krause has thrown down 100 biddies, and Andy Bumatai 500. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Andy. Oh my goodness. We are level 2 hype training it today. And so Darlene, yes, you were, Darlene, I have to tell you, it was great to see you. I mean, we always chatter during StatterBox at the cinema. That's what the whole point of the little chat screen is, so we can we're quiet. So for those who aren't familiar with StatterBox at the cinema, basically every Saturday night we watch a movie, and then we're talking the whole time. Now we're not talking. My mic is off. We're chatting. So if you don't want to pay attention to the chat and you just want to watch the movie, you totally can. But oh my gosh, hold on. Before we talk more about that, it looks like we've got some hype trains, level 2 situation. Gil Soto throwing down a bunch of biddies. You know what, Gil? I'm not going to be able to count that fast. So I'm just going to say thank you for the piles upon piles of the biddy triangles. And it looks like Marmax got 500 biddies as well. I think Darlene just threw down 101, which is super awesome. And Kenny from the Cove also spreading the subscription love to, looks like, Devin and Minute. Cool. And oh my God, we're on a level 3 hype train already. You guys, thank you so much. I appreciate this so much. Now, Anne, yeah, we didn't talk about this the other day, yesterday, let's say yesterday, but you're right. The Descendants was an actual book that was written by Kauai Hart Hemmings. And, oh, you were in the same class year at your college. I didn't know that. Yeah. Honestly, the movie was phenomenal. So the book, I can only assume is just as good, if not better, because the books are always better, right? I mean, books are always better than movies for the most part. But I'm not so sure that I can even envision how much better the book could possibly be, right? I mean, yeah. So, PhotoLuke, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Mariana, and Pocola T. Super stoked to see you. I am glad you were able to buzz in and say hello, but life gets in the way. So yeah, go do your life. Go do your life. And, oh, PhotoLuke, I don't know if I thanked you for Marmek sub there too. We've got so many subs flying, and another 200 biddies from Nani Aloha. Let's see here. Oh, Mariana, you are here. Okay, you haven't learned. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen each other. And yeah, you haven't used Twitch since Andy's break in October. You're relearning. Dude, tell me about it. Okay, so last night before StatterBox at the cinema, I had done... I thought I did some things and stuff. I thought I was learning. I thought I did an upgrade. And anyway, it ended up I wasn't able to stream because my upgrade didn't work quite the way I thought it was going to work. And so, yeah, I had to relearn. I had to uninstall and then reinstall and then try to remember how it was I had set things up. So like relearning stuff can be almost as intimidating as learning it the first time. In fact, a little bit more, because you're frustrated with yourself. You're like, I know that I know this. I know that I've already done this once. Why don't I remember how I did this? But I think I just summed up my whole tech experience right there. I know I've done this before. Why don't I know how to now? Why don't I remember how to do this? I think that sums up my tech experience. Medium 7 Up. Can I give you the non-spoiler plot summary of The Descendants? Absolutely. It's about, for the most part, fairly haole family, but they do have Hawaiian blood many generations back. Consequently, they own a huge swath of land on Kauai. They're in the process of selling it. While they're in the process of selling it, the main trustee executor, his wife slips into a coma, and his life basically falls apart. And it's the story of like that week where his wife's gonna die, they have to sell the property, they blah blah, like it's just this chaotic mix of awfulness. That, as I was saying before my chatter got scattered, Darlene was so into the movie. It was awesome. She was so pissed at these characters because the characters were so well written that you just wanted to, seriously, I wanted to crawl through the screen and punch one of the characters. He was so aggravating. I love the ability that we have with StatterBox at the cinema to chat throughout the movie and have like basically yell at the screen without, interrupting somebody else's experience, as it were. And thank you so much, Nani Aloha, for another 200 biddies. Oh my God, how did we get to level 4 hype train? I mean, oh, you guys, oh my goodness. Yeah. So, let's see here. I thank you so much. I don't know what I've missed, but I might have missed a ton. And so if I missed thanking you, well, that's all on me. That is all on me. So let's see here. And I think I just saw something that reminds me, maybe I need to get the music going. So let me know. Okay. I know that I always am like asking for feedback here, but with the tech kerfuffle that I had earlier today and the weird sometimes double feeding of my mic into my system, If I've got an echo, like, please let me know, because I'm afraid I might, and I don't want to have that. So, oh, and speaking of tech stuff, did we get the adjustable gear? Oh, PhotoLuke, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Gil Soto, and it looks like level 3 is completed, and the hype train might be over, but phenomenal response here. Goodness gracious. Okay, so you did get the gear, and it does go down. Thank you guys so much for getting us to that level 4 hype train, by the way, you guys. That is just super awesome. But Shock, does the gear go down? I'm not on my mod view, or I'm not on the Twitch view yet, so yeah, so there you go. Hey, Pakalika72, good to see you here. And Kenny from the Cove, good to see you. Actually, I've already said hello to you, Kenny, but lo and behold, for some reason, it had been so long, I guess. I had to say hi again. Okay, excellent. So we are able to get downgrades. So for folks who don't really know what the flying fork we're talking about here, we are talking about the ability to downgrade. There's a little gear on the bottom, I don't know, right-hand side maybe. And if you hover over it, if you've got some issues with the stream, you might be able to lower it, which will make things less twitchy. And in regards to things that are twitchy, lo and behold, now suddenly I'm not able to send any emotes anymore from my little OBS studio, and now I'm very sad. So I'm glad that you guys are throwing the flying forks, because I wanted to throw a flying fork, but thanks to the tech kerfuffle of last night and me not remembering how to do things that I've already done, I can't throw any emotes, so I'm not going to. So there you go. Oh, excellent. It sounds like Twitch is at 160, some places 360, other places 480, other places, and I'm coming at you at a source of 720. So if you try to get to 1080, well, that's just not going to happen. Sorry, I'm on 720 today. Whoa, actually, you know what? After the tech kerfuffle, I don't know what I'm at. Maybe I am at 1080. We'll see. We'll see. Oh my God, you're going to be walking the dog? Right on. Okay, cool. And we're coming in with the facts. Okay, yes, it's 720. That's okay, good. I'm glad that didn't get messed with. Yes, very super stoked, Shock. Super stoked. All right, yeah. And oh, it looks like eMusic is here as well. Fantastic, good to see you. Terry in Scotland, I'm 720 over in your neck of the woods. Okay, cool, excellent. That is a good deal. All right, so we were talking about the Betty White challenge, and Andy Bumatai, I know, right? 420 seems like a really logical Twitch gamer speed. I mean, aren't a lot of us on speed 420 anyway? Maybe just me. So, let's see here. Okay, now Devin, I'm not sure. So you just said also there's a low latency mode that you can toggle on and off. That tends to help too. You just learned that trick. Now, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm going to go out on a limb. It's okay. Oh, thank you. I was just about to say, what is it? Do you get to the low latency mode via the gear? But no, it's under the settings. Okay. Well, Pekalika, it is 520 here, but it is 420 somewhere, right? Exactly, Medium 7-Up. Not just me, you're on 420p too. Exactly. That's exactly right. We know what we're talking about. Okay, so one thing that we've talked about before here, and we're going to talk about it for just a little bit here too, again, we talk about whales, because I live near the water, and Hawaii is in the middle of the water, and I don't know if you know this or not, but the whales, they live in the water, and as it turns out, Earlier this year, we had a beluga whale decide to wander into the waters of Puget Sound, where I live. And let's see here. Mike Ross says, what you know about trying to see your kids, but your wifey blocked the visit, paying child support, but the kids don't even get it. I don't know. Is that a song? I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah, sorry. So anyway, Mike, thanks for talking, but I actually have no idea what you're talking about there. So perhaps explain or not. Anyway, so earlier this year, well, probably actually last year, earlier this winter, a beluga whale was in Puget Sound waters. And just last week, we had a whole different set of strangers. One stranger, actually. And these pictures aren't necessarily very good because, they're not. It's just like, oh, look at that hump. But this is a fin whale. Fin whales are open ocean whales. They are the second largest whale in the entire world, only tinier than the blue whale. They get to be about 85 feet long. Despite how huge they are and the fact that their name is fin, they actually have a remarkably tiny dorsal fin considering the rest of their body. But you can see in these pictures just how close to shore this particular animal got. And I don't think, wait, Devin, there's a picture with a bunny with a pancake on its head? Okay, I'm very confused now because that's not what I'm seeing. So yeah, as you can see with these pictures, very close to shore. The people who witnessed it, they didn't think that the whale seemed ill or anything like that. But it seemed like it was a healthy little, a healthy little whale. That's the biggest whale, or the second biggest whale in the world. Hey, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, good to see you. We're sitting here talking about the stranger in the Puget Sound waters this past week. This is a picture of a fin whale, despite the fact that the fin is not very big on its back. But, about 85 feet long, huge, second largest whale in the world. And they are baleen feeders. So, this is, I've never heard of a baleen feeder in the Puget Sound. And Kenny, is Puget Sound going through some sort of regeneration that's making it more attractive to the whale community? I don't really know. I do know that our salmon runs are more plentiful, but this is a baleen feeder, so no salmon. That salmon is not what they're eating, right? I do think that we might. So I saw this article about our Puget Sound whales. By the way, I will boop-a-doop. So the little red circle on this little map right here, that's where those pictures were taken. So that circular area, those are inland waters, man. Like I said, baleen or fin whales are normally open ocean waters. Fin whales, they actually, because I am a geek, I did some research, and the fin whales are basically located in 3 parts of the world. So the green area is the Northern Pacific, and that's where they're spotted. So it's not that the fin whale was necessarily that far from where it should be. It's just the fact that it was in the inland water that was kind of strange. Then you've got the North Atlantic whales, and then you've got the southern ones. Now the southern whales, the southern fin whales, they are a different species and slightly larger than the ones in the Northern Pacific. But all of them, back in the day when whaling was a huge industry, fin whales were almost, to the brink of extinction. But fin whales live to be about 140 years old. And so they're starting to, so even though the 1800s is when the whaling industry was at its peak, that really wasn't, when you live to be 140 years old, you're not going to be breeding 2 years out of the womb, right? You know, you've got a longer life's arch. So scientists are hypothesizing that sightings like the one in Puget Sound or another one that I'm going to show you in a little bit are maybe going to be more common. It's been 140 years now. So the generation that was left, we're finally maybe starting to see them rebound, and slowly but surely more and more of these whales will be visible, will be around, and that will actually really, really help with the regeneration of the whole entire ocean ecosystem, because whale poop is actually important. And so when the whales left, it kind of left the oceans unfertilized. When the whales were killed to the brink of extinction, the whales didn't leave. The whales didn't go anywhere. Pardon me. But when the whales were no longer abundant in our waters, they stopped pooping because they weren't there to poop. And that actually had a chain reaction for other things. And so basically, more whale poop equals more krill to eat, equals more healthy whales, equals more whales there. And Marmek, you're right. It is very rare to see many whales in the Puget Sound other than the orcas that we've got. But like I said earlier, this winter there was a beluga, and so I don't know why they're suddenly and belugas eat salmon, and it was a salmon run time when the beluga was around. So in theory, there was a hypothesis of it, it was following the fish, etc. But this baleen one is just like, wow, no one really knows. So we're pretty excited about that. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm pretty excited about that. And right, exactly, Rick. The nutrient cycle supports all life. Precisely. Yeah, whale meat, I don't know. I mean, if offered to me, I would be honored that I was being offered it, and I probably would try it, but I really don't know. I'm kind of with PhotoLuke, who's like, I'm not sure I could try it. It's cool you guys got to try it. I think PhotoLuke and I are maybe on the same page. It's like, I'd like to think I'd try it, but would I? Really? I don't know. So, yeah, and it's the blubber. The meat part doesn't. It's being offered just the pure blubber to eat. That seems just weird to me, which actually shouldn't, because it's like, I eat bacon fat, I mean, I've realized that that's just, well, prejudiced of some sort, preconceived notions about this, that, and t'other. But yeah, exactly, Puckalika. I'd probably want to try. Yeah, exactly. It's like, do I want to know what this is, or should I just try it first? Maybe I should just try it first. Exactly. You bring up a good point. Okay, so still talking about whales, right? Okay, so we're talking about the fin whales. We've got 3 different types of fin whales. The one on the top is the northern one, and then the one in the bottom is the southern fin whale. And apparently, back in the day, they thought that all the fin whales were the same, not subspecies or different species of the whale. Now they're starting to realize that there are different kinds, and so the southern fin whale also was, hunted to decimated points. And let's see here. But this video shows about 1,000 fin whales in a 5x5 area off the South Orkney Islands. Now, the South Orkney Islands are right off of an Antarctica peninsula and right by the Falkland Islands. And oh yeah, that's right. I've got a map to show you that. I've got a map for that. But this video was taken by a National Geographic boat. So this is not, and so scientists on board were able to say, yep, this is the fin whales and this is whatever. And earlier this year on Chatter with Statter, I showed you a video of a bunch of orcas feeding in the North Pole in a feeding frenzy that had never really been captured on video before. And so now we're at the South Pole, and once again, this is something that the scientific community was mind blown with the amount and density of the fin whale population. So, yeah, so these are good things. And here we go. All right. So the little red dot at the bottom of the globe, that is where that video was taken. Hey, Medium 7 Up. Yeah, it's been a long day. You should probably go night-night. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much. Yeah, and so anyway, South Orkney Islands, red dot. Seattle up at the top, very, very far away. Different set of whales, but still same kind of whales, sort of-ish. Anyway, I totally thought it was just awesome that in the same week on my feeds, we've got the random fin whale showing up in the Puget Sound, and then we've got these 1,000, fin whales feeding in the South Pole, as it were. And so yeah, I just thought that because I got so excited about it, I thought I would show everyone. And Pakalika, you're right. That video does blow. It blows so much. So let's see here. Looks like Miles is going moi moi. Everybody's wishing him a good evening. And then let's see here. One more thing that I wanted to show. Oh yeah. So to give you guys an idea of just how big, we'll stop talking about this in a minute. Probably, maybe. We'll see. But anyway, to give you an idea of how big those fin whales are, and yes, I cockroached this right off of a trademark site, so yeah, sorry about that. But this is how big they are, dude. Like, seriously, there's an effluent, and there's a swimmer, and there's the whale. That's big. Right, exactly, and where? Dang! That's right. That's right, Pakalika. You got the whole world on your phone. Thanks to Chatter with Scatter, we go everywhere. So yeah, let's see here. So that was just the size comparison. And yes, I did say effluent, but I meant to say effluent on purpose. That's exactly it. And yeah, exactly, Darlene. They are super huge. Rick, you didn't know that the elephants swam with the whales? I know, right? I don't know where the whale got the scuba gear, because obviously the whale was underwater. I mean, the elephant was underwater. The elephant was under the whale. Totally. Uh-oh, did Pakalika just give Shock an earworm? Oops. So, yeah, elephants. Oh, I get Terry. You're right. Elephants have built-in snorkels. I didn't even think about that. Well, no wonder the effluent could go swimming with the whales. No wonder. So let's see. Yeah. So did we ever find out just what the whales might taste like? Because let's see here. Okay, so Cindy Krause, you first thought that they were mammals. It's a strong steak. It was good how they cooked it. Okay, so then I guess, it makes sense that whale meat would be more like mammal meat. I mean they are mammals. So even though, my instinct is, of course, it's going to be fishy, which makes no sense. But yes, Shock, that's right. We did talk about effluent, and we talked about whales. There we have it. Yeah, E-Music, the whales and the elephants, that's right. They're on the down low together. It's definitely not something they want everyone to know, but we've got proof. We've got photographic evidence that the elephants and the whales, they swim together. So I don't know who they think they're fooling. Um, let's see here. Devin, you like pronouncing whale as wahale? Hee hee. Yeah, that's funny. That's so funny you should say that, because the other day, my boss didn't think this was funny. I was talking about white people, and I referred to white people as wahite, and I don't know, she didn't get it. She didn't like it, and it was like, well, whatever. I heard some YouTube creator refer to white people as wahite, and I honestly thought that was hysterical. So, well, gosh, oh my God, you're right. They do eat fish, so perhaps they would taste like a little bit of fish, right? And I'm glad to see you're back. So yeah, I don't know. It sounds like they were not very fishy, from what Cindy said, at least. So let's see here. Yeah, Kenny, exactly. If you want to start creating a little scatterbrained dictionary, we certainly can, because yeah, we've got all sorts of things that I say that other people don't say. So let's see here. Right, well, that's true, Kenny. Also, they not only do they swim together, but they're not even wearing bathing suits. And considering they aren't exactly the skinniest of animals, I guess you couldn't say that they were skinny dipping. They're probably more like chunky dunking. And I wish I could take credit for that phrase, but that was something that one of my friends told me the other day, that he never goes skinny dipping, he goes chunky dunking. And I have to say, chunky dunking is a little bit more appropriate of a term for what it is I do. Now, I don't know what it is all y'all do. Skinny dipping, chunky dunking. If you've got a name for it, by all means, share it. But, for some of us, skinny dipping, well, that's just an outright lie. It's chunky dunking. Exactly. Chunky dunking. Oh, really, Elaine? The first time you heard the term snowbirds, you thought they meant white people. Well, first off, don't they? I mean, I know that is technically not what snowbird means. I get that, but I mean, at the same time, right? I mean, it's like, well, aren't they though? Yeah, exactly, Anne. It's like, well, I mean, it's not right, but is it really wrong? Yes. Andy Bumatai, flashy splashy. Oh, that's good. Flashy splashy. That covers everybody type. That's the most inclusive umbrella term. And cannonball, well, I don't know. Pakalika, I don't know if cannonball is gender inclusive. Oh no, wait, maybe I guess we could say that everybody's got a set of somethings, but still, yeah, flashy splashy though, that one's gender neutral. I like that one. And yeah, and I would think that a cannonball might be a little painful while you're chunky dunking or flashy splashing. And it'll be a good flashy splash if you cannonball while you're chunky dunking. That's for sure. That is for sure. So, Shock, let's see here. Yuma snowbirds. Hold on. Yuma snowbirds. Oh, no. There we go. Yuma snowbirds mostly come from Canada and get... Okay, Yuma snowbirds mostly come from Canada and get drunk and fight and stuff. So, dignified. Well, I don't know, Shock, if you were here the other day when Vanilla Coke Pepsi was here, and I had mentioned, we were talking about Canadians and how they like to just fight. They like to fight. Like one of my friends went up to Canada and this random dude just stopped him in the street and was like, "I'll scrap you for your coat." So there was no beef between the two of them. It was just like, "Hey, you look like you'd be a good fight. Let's fight, and whoever wins gets the coat." Like, it's what they do for fun. And I know that that's such a Really? You're not from Canada. Why are you spreading some stereotypical weird rumor that happened to happen to one of your friends once? Well, no, Vanilla Coke Pepsi was like, oh yeah, we do that. It's like, yeah. Yeah. Yes, I mean, outside of hockey. I mean, it was not... Yeah, dude, my friend was in a rock band. He wasn't there to play hockey. He was a tall, skinny, leather jacket wearing punk rock dude. I mean, like, he wasn't there to do sports, you know? He was not there to do sports. He was there to do the opposite of sports. Yeah. So without a doubt, it's, you know, the Canadians, I'm not surprised that the Canadian snowbirds that go down to Yuma get drunk and fight. I mean, yeah, that's dignified. It's what they do. Oh, yeah. And where, oh my goodness, the show Letterkenny is a great Canadian comedy show with a lot of scrapping. Word, yes. First off, if you guys aren't familiar with Letterkenny, the wordplay, the writing on that show is so swift, so sharp. The wordplay, the interactions, it is a phenomenal comedy show. But if you watch the show, then you know every single season has at least one epic throwdown. A fight to end all fights between one dude and 37 people, or the whole town versus another whole town, or the French Canadians versus the not French. I mean, like, there's every single season, there is a huge fight scene that it's just, it just reinforces the fighting stereotype that, it just reinforces the fighting stereotype that I am here perpetuating. But sometimes stereotypes do come out of reality, and the fact of the matter is, Rick, regardless of hockey, Rick is like, Canadians like to fight? What? I thought that was just a hockey game. No, dude, you don't need an ice rink or a frozen pond to get into a fight in Canada, if you're a dude, that is. Pakalika, yeah, you know, you don't skinny dip because you don't want to fish that way. Yeah, you know, some lures might be a little, well, you know, actually, Anne, you're right. Letterkenny is Anne Ware says, very deadpan comedy, and it is very deadpan. But, well, it does make me giggle. I haven't, seen the last couple, or they just released at least one new season, and I haven't seen that one yet. But the ones seasons 1 through, I don't know, 7 or something. I want to say it's out on Netflix, or is it Hulu? Well, it's either on Hulu or it's on Netflix. I only subscribe to those streaming services, so it's one of those two. And if you haven't seen it, and you have access to either of those, whichever stream is the platform that has it, you really should check out Letterkenny if you want to watch some Canadians fight. Really, yeah, there you go. Yep. Let's see here. Oh, Vanilla Coke Pepsi. We were literally just talking about you. We were talking about yes, we're talking about Canadian scrapping, and how I said that Canadians like to scrap, and Shock was acting like she didn't realize that, and I was like, dude, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, like, for each other's winter clothes. That's what I was just telling her. See, Vanilla Coke Pepsi is coming in with, you know, stereotypical reinforcements for the southern border girl. That's me. And when I say southern border, I mean southern Canadian border, northern US, southern Canadian. Yeah, dude. From what I understand, I mean, like I said, I only had the one friend from my area have that happen to him. But, I mean, clearly it happens enough that I'm kind of surprised I've only had one friend have that happen to them. So yeah, let's see here. Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you do it all the time. It's a weird code of honor. That's kind of the impression that my friend got when he had the the offer made to him to go to scrapping for the coat, or maybe it was scrapping for the jacket. I don't remember the exact terminology, but either way, what he was, it was he was wearing a fur lined, or not fur, but the denim jackets with the fleece lined denim jacket, and so the dude wanted to scrap him for his coat. Honestly, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, I don't know where he was asked. I'm gonna say it was somewhere. I don't know. He was on tour, so it could have been any place with a relatively large city adjacent. So he wasn't in your neck of the woods. He was definitely closer to the border, but he was a band, in a rock band, and so he wherever, I don't know. I mean, let's say Toronto, probably not. Maybe Hamilton, probably. But I don't know. It wasn't Vancouver. I know that. I can tell you it was not Vancouver, BC. But that's all I can tell you. So yeah, yes, and okay, so Shock, this is what Vanilla said last time, and he's bringing you up to speed. But the thing you can always back out of it and scrap fight with Canadians is you apologize after each punch and you become buddies afterwards. Yeah, okay, it's quite common in Ontario and Quebec. Precisely, and that's exactly, it was that area. Like, where precisely that area, I have no idea. But that is exactly that area that happened to him. And this happened, like, by the way, over probably close to 40 years ago, when he was a young buck, when he was a punk rock dude in a band. This definitely didn't happen, yesterday. So it's a long-standing tradition. If a young blood like Vanilla Coke Pepsi is like, oh yeah, we still do that, and then an old fart like my friend, he was just like, oh yeah, that happened. Dude, it's a long-standing Canadian tradition. It just is. Fight you for your coat. So Vanilla, have you ever fought somebody for a coat? And did you get their coat, or did they get yours? Or, well, yeah, I mean, like, what if you don't want their coat and you won? How does that work? Let's see here. Shock says Canadian karateka are totally bad okoli when we see them at master camp, you gotta say. Yeah, I'm not really surprised at that, actually, because, they know how to hit. Oh, I guess, yeah, there you go. You can always throw the fight if you don't want to win the coat. Well, yeah, but then you have to give up your coat. See, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's a solution, because then you still have to give up your coat. Okay, so oh, you're gonna go help with dinner? Good plan, Pekalika. So, right, exactly, Darlene. I don't want to give up my good coat. I don't want your crappy coat. I don't want your crumb. I don't know what's in your pockets. I don't know where that tissue, what was in that. I don't know what you did with that tissue. So, okay, so Vanilla Coke, once somebody did fight you for your coat. It was a fun fight. You won due to me having martial arts training. He eventually tapped out after a while, and you got his coat. You still have it. All right, then. Okay, all right. Your parents weren't happy. They thought... Your parents weren't happy. They thought you beat up some kid for their coat. Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of did, but I guess if you didn't instigate it, it's like, well, he offered to fight me for his coat. He lost. I got his coat. I don't know what to tell you, Mom. Yes, exactly. Rick, thank you so much for giving Lono a shout out here, as always. Lono Music is the soundtrack to Chatter with Statter, and today we are listening to random tunes from Maui, looks beautiful, from Molokai, and Passage to Pono Old Style 5. So if you want to get any of these albums, by all means visit lonomusic.com and go purchase them for download, or if you just want to listen to his music for free, then you can check Lono Music out on YouTube. Kaupe'epe'e is his username, but if you don't know how to speak or spell Hawaiian, the easiest way to find Lono on YouTube is to just YouTube search Lono Music, and he'll probably be the first thing to show up. There you have it. You should definitely check out his channel. And Shock, thank you so much for throwing down those links. The Lono Music is the website to get the albums, and the YouTube channel is the channel for Lono's, his YouTube page, obviously. And so, yeah, let's see here. Well, yeah, and the coat envy, I mean, it's super cold up north, so I can see why some people would just be like, oh, that's a nice coat. I'd love to, oh, I've got hair. Hold on. I can see why some people would want to, maybe scrap for a coat. So, okay, Vanilla Coke Pepsi. All right, this seemed like it would be implied, but I'm glad that you are acknowledging this. Another thing you must add, says Vanilla Coke Pepsi, adults can't challenge kids, and kids can't challenge adults. The same with teens and kids, and teens with adults. It needs to be a fair age range. Okay, cool. And that that makes sense. See, it's an honorable fight, honorable win. Exactly. That's right, Terry. I don't want any Canadians' cootie-infested coat. Thank you. Exactly. I'm half Canadian, but that's okay. I don't want the half Canadian cootie-infested coat either. So, Darlene, but why not just go buy the coat you want? Don't get it, but I'm not a young Canadian. Yeah, well, no, not only are you not a young Canadian, Darlene, you're not a young Canadian dude. And so, I mean, I'm really not sure any of us are going to be able to understand. And by us, I mean, well, chicks. Hey, Bear Mail. Speaking of coats, just got here. Hi, good to see you. Your mom found a bear coat and really wants to get it for you, but it's like $350. Yeah, well, Bear Mail, I can see why your mom would want to get you that. And that sounds like it would be awesome, except, like, seriously, where would you wear it? The reason why I'm saying this is I have a vague idea of where you live and what the climate's like. And don't you think it would be really hot? I mean, I know that, recently we had the 12-degree days, etc. But don't you think that but that's not normal. You also know that that's not normal for the Puget Sound area. And don't you think the bear coat would just be like too much heat retention? I mean, if you went to Alaska, then there we go. But, I don't know, man. It seems like I'd be mighty hot down here in the Puget Sound area. Let's see here. Okay, so Vanilla Coke Pepsi, it's like Fight Club. It's almost like Fight Club. It's honorable and has its rules. Right, there you go. And yeah, there you go, Andy. You can only fight someone for their hearing aids. That would be that. Shoot, that's some high stakes fighting right there. I mean, hearing aids aren't cheap, right? I have a friend whose daughter wears hearing aids, and they got some fancy ones, and it was like $6,000 or $7,000 for them. So wow, that's some serious. That is some high stakes scrapping, my friend. High stakes scrapping. Okay, so Vanilla Coke Pepsi, women can't challenge men and vice versa. Okay. Oh, really? If you got nothing better to do after the show, look up Jane Austen Fight Club on YouTube. Okay, I feel like a clip of that I feel like a clip of that has crossed my social media feed, and I did not look into it, but it did catch my eye. I might have to check out the Jane Austen Fight Club for sure. For sure. And then Vanilla Coke Pepsi. Women can strap it. It's not common. Well, as we talked about in one of the last streams, chicks are not a lot like dudes when it comes to fighting. Like, seems like when chicks fight, it never ends. Like, there's no getting drunk and being buddy after the final blow. There's always simmering resentment. I mean, I know, stereotype, but I'm a chick, and I've seen a lot of chick fights, and I've never seen two chicks just be like, yeah, let's, kill each other and then forgive each other all within the span of 3.5 minutes. No, that just, no. Yeah. Oh, okay, Bear Mail, you would wear it as a jammy costume type thing. It would be a special occasion thing. Oh, it's made for skiing. Oh, wow. See, I was thinking it'd be super huge and big and bulky, so it would be probably not good for skiing. But yeah, no, that sounds cool, actually. Yeah, exactly. Oh, my God. Furries! You got it. Although $350 for a furry's outfit is actually pretty cheap, from what I understand. Yeah, Vanilla Coke Pepsi girls fight more with drama and their words, while my men fight with their fists. It's more entertaining, especially untrained. They are doing some of the most unorthodox, ruthless things you've ever seen. I don't know if you're talking about the chicks or the dudes. I think you might be talking about the chicks. Unorthodox and ruthless? Yeah, yeah. Yep, exactly. Oh, Rick, yes, thank you so much for mentioning PhotoLukeHawaii. Definitely go join Luke on YouTube or Twitch if you want a on-the-ground view of what Honolulu in particular is like. And not Honolulu, Oahu, the island of Oahu that the city of Honolulu is on. Anyway, PhotoLuke, great content creator, both on Twitch and on YouTube. If you haven't familiarized yourself with PhotoLukeHawaii and you are at all interested in the Hawaiian Islands, then PhotoLuke is somebody you must. That's right. I'm telling you what to do. I'm telling you how to live your life. He's somebody that you must follow. And speaking of someone else that you must follow, if you didn't come in on the raid that came from Andy Bumatai's Daily Pigeon Live, then that means you might not have been a part of the raid from Andy Bumatai's Daily Pigeon Live. And that means you might not even know about Andy Bumatai's Daily Pigeon Live. But let me tell you, you need to find out, and you need to follow Andy Bumatai. He also is on YouTube and on Twitch and on Twitter and on LinkedIn and on Facebook. I don't think he's on Instagram, but pretty much whatever platform you want. Yeah, he's going to be there. He's going to be there every Tuesday and Thursday and on Sunday. He's got a show called The Daily Pigeon Live, and he highlights videos and music from Hawaii and other places too. We hang out, we chat, and it's an awesome thing. So let's see here. As I am giving all of the verbal shout outs, because I still don't have my Stream Elements set up to do shout outs, because when I tried to do that earlier this week, that's what caused my technological kerfuffle yesterday. And so it never happened. Yes. So, let's see here. Terry in Scotland, you never hold a grudge. They shed terribly. It's a very good point, actually. That's witty words of wisdom right there. Yeah, Kenny from the Cove, friendly fights. Scrap, get over it. Share some beers. It's Guy Code. Yes, it is. It isn't. No, Bear Mail, Derby, you don't necessarily see them. I've never seen actual fisticuffs. I mean, like, as far as the competition goes with the woman on woman action or whatever, but like, as far as punches thrown, every time I've ever seen a punch thrown in Derby, trust me, man, the two chicks that were involved in it were not friends after the bout. Whereas every time that I've seen a punch thrown in roller derby by men, by the end of the bout, they're friends. So yeah, I don't know. I guess if there's ever a community of women who probably could fight and get over it, it probably would be roller derby. I have never seen it though. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Oh, whoa, no, Vanilla Coke Pepsi. You remember a few weeks ago you had to box with a guy who'd never boxed before and he back punched you? For those who don't box, that is a very skilled move and illegal. Yeah, I don't know anything about boxing, but I do know about roller derby, and I know that any contact to the back in regard that, well, not any contact, but any contact that has an effect on your position to the back, you know, basically if anybody hits you on the back and hits you hard enough to move you, that is patently unsafe and totally dangerous. And so to me, any kind of back action is illegal in roller derby. And so I just sort of assumed that similar with boxing, it does not sound like a safe practice at all. It sounds like, as Ann Ware says, oh, dirty fighting, no good. Exactly. And then Rick coming in also shouting out Terry in Scotland. Terry in Scotland is a great streamer on Twitch, running both some special events, movies, and shows. But really, the funnest part of Terry is when he's on his European truck simulator, and he's got what's known as the party bus. And folks go in, hang out, chat in the chat while we're listening to some music. And basically, Terry drives a bus in his video the way you want to drive in real life. Somebody's pissing you off, drive over him. You don't like that sign? Run over the sign. That guardrail, it just doesn't look right without my paint on it. Yeah, that's right. Drive up on that guardrail. That is what we do. And so Terry in Scotland is honestly, I'm sure in real life he's a phenomenal driver, but he's actually like the worst driver in the world on this game on purpose. And that's what makes it fun. I mean, come on, dude. You generally don't get hurt. And if you do get hurt, well, it's probably your own fault because you fell off your own chair. So yeah, absolutely. Go check out Terry in Scotland on Twitch. He streams almost every day. And so it's very fun place to hang out. And let's see here. We're talking about some dirty fighting. AndyBumatai.com, his website and his Twitter feed. Let's see here. Devin, you think girls fight dirty because they don't have the muscle to knock someone out usually? Yeah. There's not necessarily. I don't necessarily think it's that they don't have the muscle. I think that a lot of women have never been taught to throw a proper punch is actually what the root is, which is because really obviously you need a little bit of muscle, but it's really just as much your stance and your follow through and your positioning and your angles when you're throwing a really good, strong punch. It's all of those factors as much as it is your muscle mass, you know? And so, I just honestly think a lot of girls haven't been taught to punch. And Shock, I didn't even see what you said. Shock's like, if you do it right, you actually don't need much. Too much muscle is actually counterproductive. Right. Yeah. Shock knows what she's talking about when it comes to throwing punches way more than I do. So listen to Shock, who teaches at a dojo and has a long history in karate. So yeah, Shock might know a little bit more than what I'm talking about, but it sounds like we're in agreement. You don't necessarily need to be muscular. You just got to know how to do it right. And I don't necessarily know if a lot of chicks know how to do it right. Rick, why not just skate backwards and say, nah, 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 nah? I don't know. Well, then you'd be exposing your front, which is a legal place to get hit. So you don't really want that. And then skating backwards in reverse in some rule sets of roller derby is actually illegal. So, yeah, there's reasons that you can't do what you particularly thought. So, yeah, and Ann Ware. Okay, also Ann Ware, who has been trained, does say, yeah, you think the dirty fighting stereotype is just from not being trained. I totally agree. And Vanilla Coke Pepsi is coming in. Well, to be fair, many men nowadays, especially in your generation, don't know how to throw a punch. True. Let's see here. Yeah, and then Darlene. Well, you know, Darlene, okay, so Darlene says, true, Molly, I think girls are more an emotional fighter and it carries them away. I think that yes, first, that is a factor. But I don't know. I think a lot of dudes can get the emotional carried them away as well. They just happen to have the training to throw the punch, but they don't have the training or the discipline to keep that emotion out of it. Because ultimately, man or woman, punching or not, you know, the last thing when you're in a fight, be it verbal or physical, you know, you want to stay in control of your emotions. Like, that's actually, you know, you're not going to be your most effective when you're angry in the rink, right? Or in the ring, right? I mean, I don't know enough about boxing, but Vanilla Coke Pepsi might have an opinion on this. I don't know enough about boxing, and I didn't watch the match, but remember that time when what's-his-face bit off the other dude's ear? I want to say Mike Tyson bit off the other dude's ear. I don't know who the dude was. I don't remember. But, like, when I heard that happen, it was just like, well, he let his emotion get away with him. Like, he should have been trained not to do that. My first thought basically was, you know, he let his emotion get away with him. And I just, I feel like, you know, dudes can get wrongfully emotional in the ring as well. Yeah, exactly. Vanilla Coke Pepsi, you're most effective when you're calm. When you're angry in the ring, it's easy to get the best of your opponent because they get tired easy. Oh, right. Okay, so Tyson bit Evansy. I don't know how to say that word. I don't think he nibbled on the ear, dude. He tore it off, I thought. Like, yeah, okay, you're right, Vanilla Coke Pepsi. Anger can be used with power, sure, but you still have to be in control of it as opposed to your emotions being in control of you, which is sort of, you know, the delicate balance. But what Darlene was saying is, you know, women get too emotional to maybe fight properly, which I'm not arguing that is a huge factor. I'm just saying, I think that there have been instances where dudes have gotten that way too. Case in point, the dude who bit the other dude's ear, I want to say it was Tyson. Someone said it was. Whoever's ear it was, I'm still not sure. But come on, you guys, like, right? He let anger get the best of him in that scenario, right? I mean, am I the only one who thinks that? Yeah, exactly, Shock. Men in your family are way more emotional than you are. I don't know that for certain because I haven't met your dudes, your family dudes, but precisely, yeah. I think that some men have that tendency. It definitely, it's not a female only trait. And okay, Kenny from the Code was Evander Holyfield's ear, and yes, so Tyson bit off a chunk. Not just a nibble, yeah, it's a bit of a chunk of Evander Holyfield's ear because he had lost control of his rage. I did not see the fight. I did not see the clip of it, but the moment I heard about it, that is the only thing that possibly could have explained those actions. I mean, Tyson, it's not like that was the first time he's ever been in the ring, right? You know, Tyson knows boxing culture and etiquette. He's had plenty training, right? So it just seemed like he just completely lost his bloody mind and out of control bit the ear. And now Terry, you prefer ear with a dash of furikake? True. The furikake does help bring out the flavor, but I prefer my ears to be braised slowly so the collagen melts and it gets a little bit, it's not as chewy that way. I've found that ears are best prepared with a slow and low heat, but maybe that's just me. Shock says, in the martial arts world, we try to keep anger off the dojo floor. It's counterproductive, and feeding that does not make anything better. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that as well. In a lot of Eastern meditation and thought, the concept of expressing your anger and your frustrations in a physical manner only serves to increase the root of your anger problem, as opposed to letting it go, which from a Western point of view, oftentimes you're taught to just, let the anger out by throwing the fisticuffs. And so, some Buddhist philosophy would disagree with that point of view, with that take on things. Yes. So let's see here. And where you're laughing and vomiting. Yeah, exactly. I think you might be vomiting at my ear tip, my ear tip, on how to cook the ears. Look, we always talk about food here on Chatter with Statter. So I had to slip something in, right? Vanilla Coke Pepsi, I think you were totally onto something. You think men in general are the same amount emotional as women. They just don't get to show it as much as women can. I totally agree. Vanilla Coke Pepsi, what Shock is saying in regards to the limited exposure I've had to martial arts training, the anger is really actually not something that is seen as a useful tool. But on the other hand, I can see how training the opposite, you like you said, if you hone it in and if you control that anger, I can add fuel to your fire. I can see that logic as well. So let's see here. Kenny from the Cove. Tyson fell off the deep end, so to speak, when his mentor passed away. After that, Tyson was an out of control beast for a long time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about that, but seems like that is what happened. Yeah, he was off. He went off the deep end for a bit. And yeah, he was fined for his actions, but still, I mean, that to me was, that crossed a line, right? I mean, that was just savage. I feel like I don't know enough about the rules to make this statement, obviously, but I feel like if there's anything that should ever get anyone banned from a sport for life, biting off another person's bodily part during that sports competition, that's a good reason to get you banned from a sport for life. Like, was fining even enough? I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't know how the flippin' rules are written and how their sports governing body punishes the participants, but seriously, I just feel like you're gonna let him in the ring again? That seems so strange. So yeah, that's right, Anware. Ear tips, a new appetizer recipe. But don't forget the furikake. Don't forget the furikake. That's right. Pualani, good night. Have a great night. Thanks for hanging out. No battery, so yeah, you gotta hella on out of here. Oh my God, you've seen pig ears for sale at 99-cent Ranch. Yeah, well, there you go. If you can't get, if you don't have Tyson to go harvesting for you, I guess you can just use the pig ears. Braise them low and slow, and don't forget that furikake. Yeah. Let's see here. So Darlene, he should have been fined. Yeah, he should have been fined, but you wonder if the guy had his ear stitched back on. I have a lot of questions about what happened to that ear, and I'm not going to get into them because I think we all maybe, yeah. Was it able to get stitched back on? Is, I guess, really a question I have. Yeah, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, biting someone's ear in boxing is not allowed. I would like to think that didn't even need to be written down. I mean, right? Rick, and that bit off ear went missing. Who knows? Could be listening right now. See, Rick, that's what I was wondering, is like, I think you know what I'm wondering, right? Especially if the ear went missing. I mean, do you know? Am I gonna have to say it? So, So, Vanilla Coke, see, you're a little bit more understanding. I understand why they let him back in the ring again, but there should be serious repercussions. Well, there were financial repercussions, but you're way, and E-Music comes in. He was, besides being fined, he did lose privileges for a while, and I'm okay with that. I just sort of feel like, yeah, maybe, yeah, I feel like maybe they could have just said, yeah, no more boxing for you. Rick, okay, I'm not gonna have to say it because Rick answered what I hoped. Anyway, Rick says the ear was found at the ring, but it got lost on the way to the hospital, so it's still missing. Perfect. That's what I kind of wanted to hear. I was afraid that it was nowhere to be found because it ended up somewhere that you couldn't find it. And we'll just leave it at that. Because Ann Ware's sitting here with all the green faces. So Terry and Scotland throwing down the details. Mysteriously, the piece of Holyfield's ear disappeared during the ambulance ride. Doctors performed a 90-minute surgical procedure that included 8 stitches to close up the wound, but unfortunately were not able to attach the missing portion. And exactly, Rick, did Tyson have fries with that ear? That's exactly it. Yeah. Shock pleading with me. Can we please change the subject before Anne loses her lunch and Cindy sympathy vomits? Yeah. Naughty Aloha. Tyson was fine with $3 million. Do I think that was enough? Honestly, I don't know, because when you have as much money as those people have, like $3 million, I don't know. What is $3 million to him? I mean, to me, $3 million is astronomical. But like for him, okay, so he paid the $3 million and he's carrying on with his life. $3 million was clearly not astronomical. $3 million was maybe pocket change, and he could afford $12 million. I don't know, you know, because that level, those celebrities and their money, I'm so not in that realm. You know, I mean, wasn't it Elvis or somebody who, when at the peak of his fame, someone asked him, how much money do you think it costs to, you know, how much does it cost for a shirt? And he's like, I don't know, $200. And it's like, no. Or like the Newsweek article that I read this week, where the Wharton Business College in Pennsylvania, one of the professors just randomly quizzed her students, just totally informal poll, but was like, hey, how much do you think the average American worker makes? And they were just like, oh, well, obviously over 6 figures. And somebody was like, I don't know, 800,000. And, you know, the reality is, yeah, no, it's 45,000 is what the average American makes. So once you get a certain level of money, because poor people don't go to Wharton, that's an expensive school. Once you get a certain level of money, you lose all concept of what the value of money is, right? And so, I don't know, $3 million? Shoot, dude, yeah, that would put me out of business. But it didn't with him, right? You know? So yeah, I mean, there you go. And you know, E-Music is coming in with an opinion that is clearly rooted in truth, and it is the truth. It is the story. Tyson was a top dollar draw. Duh. Tyson was a top dollar draw. That's why he got to eventually box again. Oh, of course. I mean, why? Duh. Of course, E-Music. Thank you for, I mean, when you say it like that, oh, well, suddenly, why did I not put 2 and 2 together? But yeah, that's exactly it. That's why he was, yeah. Had he been anybody else, he probably would have been fine or banned. But you're right. Somebody else needed to make money off of him. So of course he was allowed back in the ring. Of course. Yeah, okay, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, exactly. You want to know his mental thought process when getting close with another fighter. He's like, I'm hungry. I'm really craving ear tonight. Yeah, I mean, what? Did he have some furikake in his back pocket to season it with? It just, that, I mean, what was he thinking? And yes, okay, Shock, you're right. From a self-defense point of view, biting is perfectly on the table when it comes to, like, legit self-defense, and it is very effective. It's a great tactic, but I think we know that Mike Tyson isn't exactly like, oh, I was walking down the street and someone attacked me, and so I had to bite his ear off. Like, that's not how that went down. So, well, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, when you're talking about self-defense in a real life situation where you need to actually defend yourself, there is no such thing as an honorable fight. You're already put in a position of danger, and that where you need to protect yourself. The person who put you in that position has put you in an unhonorable position. And so, we're not talking about, hey, I'll scrap you for your coat. We're talking about, oh, I'm about ready to get, something horrible happening to me. I need to fight this person off. And I'll tell you what, man, yeah. I'll bite if I have to. Yeah. And yeah, of course. And then E-Music, exactly. Of course. And then the freak show that Tyson was, of course, everybody went back to see if he would do it again. Exactly. Devin, Tyson tiptoed up behind Holyfield with some furry cockade and pre-seasoned before they got in the ring. That's funny. That is hysterical. Hey, Kate Keiss. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but thank you so much for swinging in. Super stoked that you were able to stop by, even if just for a second. What lovely words you have for the Chatterbox here at Chatter with Statter. Come hang out if you still can, but it looks like you might be on your way out to someplace else to sprinkle on that good-natured vibe. And let's see here. So let's see here. Yeah, okay, so Ann Ware, you love boxing, but not that story. MMA fights you do like to watch, but not the gruesome leg breaks. See, I don't like MMA because it's so much... Actually, I don't really like either of them, but if somebody was like, you have to choose boxing or MMA, I would choose boxing in a heartbeat. MMA is so... it's so much more scary. Like, it's... you don't break people's bones in general when you're in the boxing rink, but like mixed martial arts, breaking legs and stuff like that is kind of a normal thing to have happen. And I don't know, man. Just the idea, mixed martial arts. Now, I will say that mixed martial arts practitioners do seem a little more, well-rounded in their training, and a lot bit more intimidating than a boxer. But I think I'd rather watch boxing. I mean, I'd rather watch neither, but I think I'd rather watch boxing, I guess. I don't know. Oh, really? See, boxing can break bones, hands, rib, facial bones. It's all brutal. Okay, well, the hand part, I guess I kind of knew that. And the rib part, I guess I kind of knew that. But I don't know. I guess having broken a leg, no, I don't need to see anybody break a leg. It's not what I want to do. But, so let's see here. Pacola T, thank you so much for subscribing for 3 months. You made it back for just the last few minutes. Yeah, we're talking about, we're talking about whether or not Mike Tyson pre-seasoned Evander Holyfield's ear with furikake, because ears taste best with furikake. And, you know how the chatter scatters. It all made sense when we made that joke. But I'm glad that we could see you come back in for the last couple minutes. Oh no, Ann Ware's That's right, I forgot. I was supposed to change the subject. Sorry, Ann. Yeah, Shock, she tried. That's right, Shock tried, but I just can't help it. Yeah, so, I know, right, Pacola T? The conversation always seems to come back to some kind of food, even if it means cannibalism. Yep, that's right. Yeah, no, and I honestly, I mean, it really is gruesome, and I honestly did not mean to go off on that topic for as long as long as we did. But yeah, exactly. No one could steer right, but Shaka tried. Shaka tried. That's right. Oh, yeah, we probably didn't need anybody to hear that. Kenny from the Cove. If you're not a boxer, don't start a fight with someone who is. Trust me on that. Oh, okay. Kind of want to hear that story, but I'm guessing that story is probably really short. Hit my face, I hit the floor. It's probably how that story went. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, so Vanilla Coke Pepsi, if you want to fight a boxer, get them to the ground and go for the legs. If their balance is ruined, they are ruined. All right, Vanilla Coke coming in with some insider knowledge. And that is true. Getting low with the legs is a good technique. Yeah, the balance is key when it comes to any kind of fighting style. So if you can throw them off balance, for sure. Always a good technique. So that's why you do BBJ and Muay Thai as well, to balance your fighting style. Right. No, that's a very good plan. And Ware says, I like MMA because there's a lot of Muay Thai in it, but those fights always go to the ground and usually end up using Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah. Which mixed martial arts is really quite awesome in that sense, because they are well-rounded and trained and in lots of techniques. But I feel like leg breaking is just so painful to watch. Yeah. So let's see here. You like the kicking to the knee, says Shock, and the shin scrape in step stomp. Owie. All right. Now we get to fight about techniques. No, we get to talk about fighting techniques. Kenny from the Cove, you'll send an email with that story? Okay. Macola T, if you didn't know you guys already, you'd think this was a pretty scrappy bunch. I know, it's so funny, for as friendly as we try to be here at StatterBox, it seems like a lot of people really know how to throw down. I mean, like, throw down and know how. I'm not one of those people, but I'm glad to have those people on my side. And let's see here. Yeah, Darlene, I couldn't win a fight either. I'd be the loser for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, I'd be the one trying to make them laugh, like, so they don't throw the first punch. But I probably would end up like that kid in the movie The Descendants last night, who was just, everything that he said just made things worse, and the guy just wanted to punch him more. It's probably what I would actually end up doing. It's like, I'm trying to make you laugh, but instead I'm pissing you off, and now I'm getting a worse beat down for it. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh my God, your sensei said the only kind of dirty fighting is when you're on the ground being beat up and getting dirty. Well, somebody said for that. In a real world fight, it comes to that. So there you have it. So let's see here. Vanilla Coke Pepsi with MMA nowadays. When it started out with the UFC, most of the fighters were good at one martial art and knew a bit about the others. But nowadays, people were trained with MMA, so it removes the sole original purpose of the UFC. Oh, right. That kind of makes sense. That makes sense. So let's see here. And yeah, pro tip, Vanilla Coke Pepsi, absolutely. People who talk a big game are usually bad at fighting, and they compensate. If someone is more quiet, watch out. That's true. It's the quiet one in the corner that you always need to watch out for. And I can tell you right now, I'm never the quiet one in the corner, so you don't even need to worry about me. All right, you guys, it is 6:30, or on the verge of being 6:30. So I want to thank everyone for hanging out this evening. Great time was had by all. That's right. I'm talking to you, and I'm telling you had a good time. I hope that's true, though. I do. And I hope that we can see each other next Wednesday, 5 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. And if we can see each other next Saturday, StatterBox at the Cinema will be showing a Native American film called Powwow Highway. I will tell you more about it on the next Chatter with Statter. But in the meantime, I want to thank you guys for coming here. I want to thank you guys for hanging out. I want to thank Andy Bumatai for that awesome raid. I want to thank everyone for the subs that they gifted and the cheers that they cheered. And I want to thank everyone for having the Aloha spirit to welcome all the new folks with open arms. And hopefully we will get to hang out again on Tuesday at Daily Pigeon Live, which is also 5 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. East Coast time. Daily Pigeon Live with Andy Bumatai on Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you want to find him, that's where we're going to be. Awesome. I'll catch y'all later. Take care.